Let's go.
Why take a trip to Japan when it's the middle of the semester? That's a good question. And really, I don't have a good short answer. I picked a midnight flight and stranded myself in the airport, cutting out 5 hours of my trip with waiting. But I can try to think of a long answer. So here's me trying. Alright, I'll share on why I decided on this trip. All I really needed was one big reason and a few smaller excuses to tack onto it to make it look worth it. The first was a concert, and then I would add on things like shopping, getting fresh air since the air quality over here was bad. While those could be shallow meanings to someone else, if you convince yourself it's worth it, eventually that's what it becomes. But speaking objectively, if it wasn't me, it's a terrible travel plan and I wouldn't even have shared it with anyone else. Arriving at midnight when public transport shuts off right at midnight means I'm stranded at the airport till 5 a.m. with no way out. Luckily, Hanera's pretty. And while I could be squeezing in a nap before public transit opens, there's something to being in a country that possesses me to milk everything I can for the experience. Or social media content. Both, probably. So I just stayed in and waited till sunrise. And once I was able to get out, it was time to go. In spite of getting really no sleep on the plane, I just felt pressured that since I was here, I really had to get things done in my 100 hours, and that meant no matter how tired I was, I had to go out and live as much as I could. But honestly, you can early bird gets the worm so much on a holiday when the city around you starts opening its stores at 10 in the morning and there's nothing else you want to do. So in the end, I did cave and I did get a small little 40-minute nap in, but not like I could nap much. I had things to do. A hectic day one couldn't just end at where I ended it, so even though I was tired, I still went out at night, and then came the second day, which brought even more sightseeing, more shopping, more hoping for things that I thought would work out, but never really quite worked out the way it did, because of all the rain. Honestly, you have to schedule breaks. And me not doing that really led to me burning out my third day. After my one big action of the day, I found myself sitting down for hours and then cramming in, rushing through the streets in the final moment, trying to see maybe the last few things that maybe I weren't as interested in, but I thought would be good things to capture, so I showed that I was there. There's also something really competitive about being a fan, or at least on the internet, that kind of possesses you to, in some way, document not yourself, but instead the advertisements or how good of a fan you are that you're able to have merch or do interesting things that maybe other fans can't even get to do. 会场も結構人数が多かったりとか。And in some sort of meta way, I guess at the very end of it, I had to document myself being really tired because there was no nice way to wrap up this video. So it was just me passing out, tired, exhausted, filming. In the end, can I say I regret my trip? Not really. 100 hours in Japan, rushing, barely any sleep, ruining my physical health, queuing in random places, staying up at night. All these things I think are part of life to me and what makes it interesting, especially because I don't get out enough. And maybe that's part of the pressure that instead of going through the monotony of work, I'm also pushing myself in the weekend warrior mindset. What it means to not live life interestingly enough, especially because I'm, an international student, and there's always such a idea that comes along with it to do something with it, and yet I've done nothing. That I found myself again coming to you from another weekend of shenanigans that I'm gonna try to have to cobble together. At the very end of it, it really depends on how you want to live your life. And maybe my journey, my weekend, it's really fun, but there are also moments where I couldn't move, my body was so tired. Maybe it isn't even relaxing to you. Maybe you saw this entire vlog and you were like, wow, that's a way to live, alright, and that wasn't a very good one. But to me, the most important thing that I want to tell my fellow rats or anyone watching this vlog and watching this vlog from me right now is that I think while we still can, and if we're not hurting anyone or pushing ourselves beyond a limit that is too unfair, we should live life at least in a way that we recognize we are living life for. Like, as long as we know what we are doing and we've seen every other option through and we know that what we're doing is correct for us, I don't think there's a wrong way to live life, because there's only so many days that we have on this planet, and every moment should be seized in a way because it's of joy to us or because it's helping us. In the end, I guess there's not much I can really say since this is my own journey, but I hope on your own journey that you're able to find what works for you. And I'll see you next time. Bye! As it turns out, I didn't have to rush back to Korea because when I got off the plane, I got an email. Class was cancelled. Alright, bye!